Hey, it's Big Jeff coming to you again with Car Audio 101, and here is Q&A number 3. So this time I wanted to take a few questions that we get in through social media from customers. And the first one was from a Mason.Wolf with 2 F's. And he says, I got two 12-inch Scar subs with a 1200 watt amplifier. I play them a while with the gain up. I started to clip and they get distorted. They sound good for a while, but after playing them for a while, not so good. Does this mean I need a more powerful amplifier? Well, Mason, there's a few more things I need to know, and I'll get to some type of answer. But what are the ohm load for the Scars wired to, and also your amplifier? Second, what is the matching of your power? Because it's going to matter. Let's just say underpowering can kill speakers faster, will also heat them up faster because of distortion. When I used to install, I used to say if you're going to take an amp and go past half gain, you don't have a big enough amp. And what I mean by that is once you get past half gain, you're pretty much just spitting out distortion. The amp just doesn't have enough power. So listening to your question, I kind of think that you might not have enough power would be the first thing. Because it sounded fine, and then you said after a while it starts to not sound so good. I would guess that your voice coils were heating up from distortion and you're starting to have an issue. But then we can also look at this a different way. What is your crossover setting? Do you have it too high? You know, if you put too much voice or vocals through the subwoofers, that will also heat them up. But I always tell people better to overpower than underpower. I have another customer that is doing a return because he said he had a 1200 watt amp and he has two 1200 watt RMS subs, and he said that he thinks because it was only 1200 watts it should have hurt speakers, but it's actually the opposite way. He actually has half the power he needs to run them, because if you have two 1200 watt RMS subwoofers, well, you need 2400 watts RMS to properly power them. And if you're not doing that, chances are good you are spitting out distortion. So I firmly believe always overpower than underpower, because you can always gain it back. You can't go any further one to max, or even after half gain, I think you're just spitting out distortion. But Mason, if you want to send another message in or comment on this video, maybe I can get you some more info. Those are just some ideas right now. Second, we had a white_5.31SX, that's his Facebook name, asking, is Deaf Bonce or DS18 better? We get these questions all the time. It's personal preference. I mean, I can't say one brand is better than the other brand, especially when you have so many different models. You have to compare apples to apples. You can't do apples to oranges. And what I mean by that is, are we comparing an SLC DS18 sub, which is the bottom of the bottom $40 speaker, compared to a DB series that's $600 and has a 3-inch voice call, huge motor? You got to compare apples to apples. So DS18 has their hooligan subs. I've heard a lot of good things. We've sold a lot of them out of here with 0 returns. That to me speaks a lot. I always gauge things on price and return rate. If we have a lot of returns, yeah, it could be people just not hooking it up right or don't have any kind of sense of car audio. But when you have 0 returns, that just tells me it's a really good speaker. On the Deaf Bonce side, obviously we don't take returns back because you have to recone those, but we still don't get many of those subwoofers in the DB series or the ST series or the SA series return. So again, another well-made speaker. But to really say which is better, it's going to come down to what is my budget, how much power am I trying to do, and overall what am I trying to achieve? Is it an SPL number? Is it hair tricks? Is it just to rattle the mirror where I can't see out of it? You got to make that your own question and answer. So let's just say Rockford, that is more expensive. Is that better? Just because the price doesn't mean quality. So all brands are good. I think everybody has a niche item that sells better than others, and some of them just get a lot more recognition online. But the best way to answer that is, how much am I paying and what am I getting out of it? And I don't think it really matters what name's on it. Okay, last question I have for our Q&A, and this is actually one that comes up all the time. There is a excess power, which is made by Ioxis. I don't want to screw that up. It's called the UC-31. We sell them here. We have brand new ones and B stock that just have some damage on the outer casings. Very popular right now. Reason being is they are under $200. They are 375 farad capacitor. And they have built-in Bluetooth, which is kind of cool because you can pair your phone with an app and you can actually keep track of voltage. You can see dips. You can see when it was the last time that it was killed down. But there's also a difference between ultra caps, capacitors, and super banks. So capacitors were the old school 1 farad, 2 farad, 5, even up to 10 and 20. And then you have the super banks, or super cap, in this case the UC-31. I spoke with Excess Power and explained to me that the UC-31 needs to be installed with another battery. Why? Well, it has internal electronics that will shut the battery off when there's no basically resistance or voltage on it. So what that means is if we sit one of those right here, right now, not hooked up to anything else, it will not read. It will not do anything. They even told me I could take a monkey wrench and lay it across the positive and negative and nothing would happen. So to make this work, this should be a secondary battery with an AGM under the hood. And then that would allow the UC-31 at 375 farads to work, which is very powerful. That would definitely clean up your system, get rid of issues with dimming of lights, or just better base response. Now, Excess Power also has their super banks, which are super caps in there, and the same thing. Those need to actually be charged up the first time, and they usually send you a light bulb, because to charge it up, you cannot just hit it all at once. They will suck all that power in too fast, and you'll have a serious meltdown. They recommend using a light bulb, or if you have a battery charger or power supply, start at the lowest voltage possible and slowly turn it up. When it's charged the first time, that's it. And then at that point, all you gotta do is connect it to another battery under your hood. But you could use that battery as a starting battery, but not recommended. Remember, those things are not made to have storage. They're made to charge and discharge very quickly. So again, both the UC-31 or the Excess Power super caps or super banks recommend being a secondary battery. So I hope I cleared this up. And if you have more questions of what I was talking about right now, make sure to leave a comment. Also, any things that you want me to talk about or go over, hey, I had to do a little research today to answer these questions, and don't kill me if I said something wrong. Just put it down in the notes. Make sure you subscribe, share this, and let's do the next one. I think we'll be on number 4. So this is Big Jeff with the Big Jeff Car Audio 101 Q&A. See you soon.